Welcome to my channel, Super Rare Coins. Today is best, top 2 coins. Please don't skip this video, so let's get it started. The 1965 halfpenny coin of the United Kingdom featuring Queen Elizabeth II stands as one of the final issues of a centuries-old denomination issued during the twilight years of the pre-decimal coinage system. By the mid-1960s, Britain was on the cusp of transitioning to decimal currency, and the humble halfpenny valued at 1/480th of a pound was gradually fading from use due to inflation and economic modernization. The obverse front of the coin carries the first official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, a talented sculptor whose work is known for its classical grace and youthful vitality. In this depiction, the queen faces right and wears a laurel wreath reminiscent of Roman empresses rather than a royal crown, reflecting the artistic desire to emphasize her natural dignity and humanity rather than imperial grandeur. The surrounding reads, Elizabeth II de Gratia Regina FD, which is Latin for Elizabeth II by the grace of God, Queen Defender of the Faith. This title is a continuation of centuries of royal tradition and signifies the Queen's role both as sovereign and as the head of the Church of England. The portrait by Gillick was first introduced in 1953 and remained on halfpenny coins until they ceased production in the late 1960s. It is often praised for its fresh, unadorned depiction of a young queen at the beginning of her reign, and its appearance on the 1965 coin is one of the final uses of this historic effigy in active British currency. The reversed back of the 1965 halfpenny features the iconic image of the Golden Hind, the famous galleon captained by Sir Francis Drake during his 16th-century circumnavigation of the globe between 1577 and 1580. This design, created by Thomas Humphrey Paget, first appeared in 1937 under King George VI and was retained through the early reign of Queen Elizabeth, due to its widespread popularity and strong symbolism. The ship is shown in full sail, detailed with rigging and wave textures conveying a sense of exploration, maritime prowess, and national heritage. Above the ship appears the halfpenny, and the date 1965 is prominently displayed below. The design reflects Britain's rich naval history and celebrates a time when the country was establishing itself as a global sea power, a narrative that continued to inspire national pride well into the 20th century. The Golden Hind remained on the reverse of the halfpenny until the coin was discontinued, and today it remains one of the most beloved and recognizable reverse designs in British numismatic history. The technical specifications of the 1965 halfpenny are typical of the denomination in its final years. The coin was struck in bronze, composed of 95.5% copper, 3% tin, and 1.5% zinc, giving it a distinctive reddish-brown color. It weighs approximately 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 25.5 millimeters, and features a plain, smooth edge. The coin is non-magnetic due to its metal content, and has a solid, satisfying weight for a lower denomination. These coins were mass-produced by the Royal Mint, and in 1965 alone, a total of approximately 120 million were minted, making the year one of the higher mintage issues for the series, although the denomination was still in use at the time. By the mid-1960s, the halfpenny had rapidly declined in purchasing power, largely due to inflation. This decline, coupled with the growing demand for a simplified currency system, led to the denomination's eventual withdrawal from circulation in 1969, 2 years before full decimalization in 1971. As a result, 1965 represents one of the final years of halfpenny production, and the coin holds historical value as part of Britain's last generation of pre-decimal money. From a collector's perspective, the 1965 halfpenny is a common date, especially in circulated condition, and its value typically ranges from 5 pence to 25 pence GBP for well-worn examples. However, uncirculated UNC or brilliant uncirculated BU coins, those with full mint luster and no wear, can command prices from £1 to £3 GBP, especially if well struck and free of blemishes. Some coins were included in official Royal Mint year sets, and these proof-like examples are especially attractive to collectors completing sets of Queen Elizabeth II's early coinage. While the 1965 halfpenny is not known for major error varieties, collectors occasionally find minor minting anomalies such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or misaligned dies, which can add interest and a small premium in the numismatic market. The coin remains popular among beginner collectors for its affordability, historic reverse design, and connection to both Queen Elizabeth II's early reign and the final era of the old British currency system. The historical significance of the 1965 halfpenny also lies in its broader cultural and economic context. That year, the United Kingdom was undergoing massive shifts in infrastructure, education, and public policy. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Harold Wilson, technological advancements, social liberalization, and increasing global engagement marked the country's entrance into a new era, while older traditions like the pound-shilling-pence system were preparing to be replaced in this setting. The 1965 halfpenny circulated as a symbol of traditional British life, yet it was also becoming obsolete, destined to be phased out as decimalization approached. For those who lived during this transitional time, The coin serves as a nostalgic link to a simpler pre-digital age, when even the smallest denominations still played a practical role in everyday transactions, from paying bus fares to buying a sweet from the local shop. In conclusion, the 1965 half-penny coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II represents not only the final years of a long-standing British denomination, but also a convergence of artistry, history, and social change. With Mary Gillick's youthful portrait of the Queen on the obverse, and Thomas Humphrey Paget's majestic rendering of the Golden Hind on the reverse, the coin is an elegant example of mid-20th century numismatic design. Though common and inexpensive in circulated form, it is valued by collectors and historians alike for its symbolic connection to a nation in transition from imperial legacy to modern identity, and from the old money system to the decimal currency that would redefine Britain's financial landscape, whether stored in a coin album or passed down through generations. The 1965 halfpenny remains a cherished token of British heritage and numismatic beauty. Next, the 1967 halfpenny D coin of the United Kingdom, issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, holds significant historical and numismatic importance as one of the final issues of this denomination before the UK transitioned to decimal currency in 1971, struck in massive quantities by the Royal Mint. The 1967 halfpenny was part of a final effort to maintain adequate circulation of low-denomination bronze coins in the years leading up to decimalization. Although dated 1967, many of these coins were actually minted and released throughout 1967 to 1970, due to the Royal Mint's decision not to strike any new pre-decimal dated coins after 1967 in preparation for the decimal changeover. As a result, the 1967 dated halfpenny is one of the most common British coins ever produced, with a mintage exceeding 1,817,442,000. An enormous number that ensured the halfpenny remained in widespread use even during its final years in circulation. The obverse of the coin bears the well-known first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, which had been used on UK coinage since her coronation in 1953. In this portrait, the Queen is shown facing right, crowned only with a laurel wreath, giving the image a classical and elegant look distinct from later depictions which portrayed her with more regal adornment. The surrounding legend reads Elizabeth II de gratia regina ft, the Latin for Elizabeth II by the grace of God, Queen, defender of the faith. This ties into a long-standing British coinage tradition that blends monarchy with religion and constitutional rule, while Gillick's design reflects the youthful dignity of a young queen at the start of her long reign. The reverse of the 1967 halfpenny features a proud and historic image of the Golden Hind, the galleon commanded by Sir Francis Drake during his famous voyage of circumnavigation in the 16th century. This reverse design, created by Thomas Humphrey Paget, first appeared in 1937 and remained unchanged through the end of the halfpenny's production. The ship, shown with full sails and intricate rigging, is depicted riding stylized ocean waves, and the design captures the spirit of British exploration, naval power, and imperial heritage. Above the ship is the halfpenny, and the date 1967 appears below. The Golden Hind was chosen for the halfpenny to symbolize not only maritime success and courage, but also Britain's role as a global seafaring nation, an image that resonated with the public for much of the 20th century. The halfpenny coin was used extensively in everyday British life for small transactions such as sweets, newspapers, and bus fares, making this familiar design a part of daily visual culture for decades. Its small size, modest value, and widespread use helped it become a nostalgic and instantly recognizable part of British coinage. Technically, the 1967 halfpenny is a bronze coin made from an alloy of 95% copper, 3% tin, and 1.5% zinc, giving it a reddish-brown appearance. When fresh, though, many surviving coins are now darker due to oxidation or handling. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 25.5 millimeters, and a plain, smooth edge. It is non-magnetic due to its composition. Its large-scale production ensured that virtually every British household had at least a few of these coins. And even decades after being withdrawn from circulation in July 1969, they remained common finds in drawers, attics, and old piggy banks. Despite the enormous number produced, many of these coins remain in reasonably good condition due to limited use in their final years. However, proof coins dated 1967 were also issued in specially prepared mint sets with mirror-like fields and frosted designs, and are of higher interest to collectors. From a numismatic perspective, the 1967 halfpenny is typically valued at face value or slightly above in circulated condition. Due to its extreme abundance, common worn examples are generally worth £0.5 to 20 pence, while uncirculated coins with bright luster, no handling marks, and sharp details can command £1 to £2 GBP, especially if pulled from mint rolls or sets. Proof coins from 1967 found in original Royal Mint proof sets are more collectible, often fetching £3 to £5 GBP or more depending on grade. While there are no major error varieties widely known for the 1967 issue, minor Minting errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet flaws can occasionally be found and may appeal to specialists. The most valuable 1967 halfpenny coins are typically those that remain in pristine condition or are part of complete proof sets with original packaging. The historical context of the 1967 halfpenny reflects a nation on the brink of significant change. Britain in the 1960s was experiencing a cultural, economic, and technological transformation. The post-war consensus was giving way to new ideas about youth, fashion, media, and identity. By 1967, the government under Prime Minister Harold Wilson had already begun plans to modernize the British economy, including a major overhaul of its coinage system. The move to decimal currency, which would be completed in 1971, required a rethinking of coins like the halfpenny, which by then had lost much of its purchasing power. As such, the 1967 halfpenny stands as a symbol of the end of an era, the last great issue of Britain's small bronze coinage under the old monetary system of pounds, shillings, and pence. It was one of the final coins used by generations of Britons raised under imperial and monarchic traditions before the introduction of the sleek modern decimal coinage. In conclusion, the 1967 halfpenny coin of Queen Elizabeth II is a significant artifact from the twilight of Britain's pre-decimal coinage. With its iconic golden hind reverse, the classical and youthful obverse by Mary Gillick, and a production run that flooded the nation with small change in the late 1960s, it remains one of the most familiar and accessible pieces of British numismatic history. Though it holds little monetary value in most cases due to its vast mintage, its importance lies in what it represents, the final chapter in a long and storied coinage tradition. The legacy of Queen Elizabeth II's early reign and the end of a financial era that dated back centuries. Today, the 1967 halfpenny is prized by collectors for its nostalgic charm, classic design, and role as a tangible link to Britain's cultural and economic past. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.